Have you ever wondered how we went from epic, solitary journeys to all-inclusive resort packages? Today, we're unpacking the fascinating history of organized travel. How did a simple trip turn into a multi-billion-dollar global industry? Let's find out. For most of human history, travel wasn't for fun. It was for trade, pilgrimage, or war. It was difficult, dangerous, and expensive. Only the very wealthy could afford to travel for pleasure, often embarking on something called the Grand Tour. This was a rite of passage for young European noblemen in the 17th and 18th centuries. They'd spend months, sometimes years, traveling through cultural hubs like Paris, Rome, and Florence, supposedly to round out their education. But this was custom travel for the 1%. The idea of travel for the masses was still centuries away. So, what changed? The Industrial Revolution. Suddenly, we had railways and steamships that could move large numbers of people faster and cheaper than ever before. A new middle class emerged with disposable income and, for the first time, They had the means and the desire to see the world beyond their hometowns, but they lacked the experience to plan such trips. The stage was set for a visionary to step in. Enter Thomas Cook. In 1841, this British Baptist preacher had a revolutionary idea. He wanted to use the new railway system to help people attend a temperance meeting in a nearby town. He chartered a train and sold tickets for $1 each, which included the round-trip journey and food. This seemingly small event is widely considered the birth of the package tour. Cook realized he was on to something big. He saw a future where travel was accessible to everyone, not just the elite. His company, Thomas Cook and Son, began offering domestic tours across Britain. They weren't just selling train tickets. They were curating experiences. Cook personally scouted locations, negotiated with railway companies for better rates, and arranged for accommodation and meals. He even published guidebooks for his travelers. His motto was to facilitate travel for the public at large. Soon, his ambition grew. In 1855, he organized his first international tour, taking a group from England to the Paris exhibition. This was a massive logistical challenge, but it was a roaring success. He followed this with tours to Switzerland, Italy, and even Egypt, where his company arranged steamship travel down the Nile. He introduced hotel coupons, a prepaid voucher system that travelers could exchange for lodging, which simplified payments and protected them from being overcharged. He also created circular notes, an early form of travelers' checks, which made carrying money abroad much safer. Thomas Cook wasn't just a travel agent. He was an architect of modern tourism, creating the very infrastructure that made mass travel possible. As Cook was pioneering package tours in Europe, another revolution was happening across the Atlantic. In the United States, the vast expansion of the railways opened up the American West. Entrepreneurs like Henry Wells and William Fargo, who founded American Express, initially focused on secure mail and financial services. But as more people started traveling, they saw an opportunity. American Express launched its own traveler's checks in 1891, which quickly became a global standard for safe currency. They also established a network of travel offices around the world, helping Americans navigate foreign lands with ease. By the early 20th century, the core components of organized travel were in place. We had travel agencies to plan the trips, travelers' checks for secure payment, and a growing network of trains and steamships to transport people. But travel was still largely a ground-dancey affair. The next great leap would take us to the skies. The dawn of commercial aviation after World War I was a game-changer. Initially, air travel was incredibly expensive and seen as a novelty for the rich and daring. But as technology improved, planes became safer, faster, and larger. The post-World War II era saw a massive boom. The development of the jet engine in the 1950s, with planes like the Boeing 707, slashed travel times dramatically. A trip from New York to London that once took days by ship could now be done in a matter of hours. This jet age ushered in the era of mass international tourism. Airlines began competing for customers, driving down prices. Charter flights became common, allowing tours operators to book entire planes for their package holidays. This is when the classic sun, sea, and sand vacation package was born. Tour operators would bundle flights, airport transfers, hotel stays, and even meals into one affordable price. Suddenly, a week-long vacation on the sunny coasts of Spain or Greece was within reach for the average European family. This explosion in tourism created a massive demand for places to stay. This led to the rise of modern hotel chains. Entrepreneurs like Conrad Hilton and J. Willard Marriott saw the need for standardized, reliable accommodation. They built empires based on a simple promise: no matter where you were in the world, a room at a Hilton or a Marriott would offer a consistent level of quality, cleanliness, and service. This concept of branding and franchising allowed hotel chains to expand rapidly across the globe, catering to the new wave of international business and leisure travelers. Simultaneously, the cruise line industry was undergoing its own transformation. Once primarily a mode of transport, passenger ships were repurposed for leisure. Companies like Royal Caribbean and Carnival Cruise Line, founded in the 1960s and 70s, turned the ship itself into the destination. They built floating resorts complete with swimming pools, restaurants, casinos, and theaters. They offered itineraries to exotic locations, but the onboard experience was a central part of the appeal. Cruises became another form of all-inclusive package, simplifying vacation planning for millions. In the latter half of the 20th century, technology continued to drive the industry forward. The development of computerized reservation systems like Sabre allowed travel agents to instantly check flight availability and book tickets for clients, a process that used to take hours of phone calls and telex messages. This automation made the entire industry more efficient and scalable. Then came the Internet. The arrival of the World Wide Web in the 1990s was perhaps the single most disruptive force in the history of travel. Suddenly, the power shifted from the travel agent to the consumer. Websites like Expedia and Travelocity launched, allowing people to compare prices and book flights and hotels directly. This transparency forced airlines and hotels to compete more aggressively on price. The role of the traditional travel agent changed forever. They had to evolve from being simple bookers to specialized travel consultants, offering expert advice and curated experiences that you couldn't find online. Today, organized travel is more diverse than ever. We have budget airlines that can fly you across a continent for the price of a nice dinner. We have online travel agencies that use AI to personalize recommendations. We have sharing economy platforms like Airbnb that let you live like a local. From eco-tours and wellness retreats to adventure travel and culinary journeys, the industry has fragmented to cater to every possible niche and interest. But at its core, the principle remains the same as the one Thomas Cook pioneered over 180 years ago. To make the world more accessible. The journey from the Grand Tour to the Package Tour, from steamships to jumbo jets, and from guidebooks to travel apps, is a story of innovation, ambition, and the timeless human desire to explore. It's a system built by visionaries who saw the potential to connect people and places, transforming a luxury for the few into a possibility for the many. So next time you're booking a flight online or checking into a hotel, take a moment to appreciate the complex web of history and innovation that makes it all possible. The world of organized travel is a testament to how far we've come. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through history interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.